Hey guys, what's up? I'm just back from WordCamp Europe in Krákow 2026. It was amazing. In this video, I'm going to show you what I like, what I dislike, but also what I really have my regrets about. So I'm going to tell you that later on. So WordCamp is like a place where all these WordPress nerds are coming together and we are like talking and meeting about WordPress. Now the whole reason why I come to WordCamp Europe is to meet other people, because that is the only thing I cannot do from here inside of my studio. So because that is the main reason, I always make sure to plan meetings ahead, because I want to ask questions, I want to know about new developments, I want to know about new stuff, and I just genuinely want to know the persons behind the business. So before I step in my airplane, I already have a successful WordCamp because I have all these meetings already planned. So that's my one number tip for you: is you go to WordCamp, make sure to plan with all the people you want to meet, because most of them really are eager to meet you and talk to you, because that's the whole reason why WordCamps are there. What I don't like about WordCamp are the quality of speakers. There are like 100 or 200 people running around in WordCamp who are really thought leaders in the industry. Now, those people can also present and do a good job at stage, because telling you something like this in a video or telling you something in real life doesn't mean you are a good performer on stage. So if you have something to share, make sure that your performance on a big stage is like mwah. So what I do, I just meet with those people one-on-one and ask them questions to pick their brains, to really hear what they're working on, what they think WordPress is going, where they think AI is going. And if you do it like this, then you have a bunch of information and really cool stuff you have learned and heard along the way, and that makes WordCamp really valuable for you. So my number one tip is, of course, make sure you plan those meetings. My personal highlight of the whole trip was actually meeting with other content creators. You have to know that this is where we live, this is what we do. We create videos and I love it. Cameras, action, lights, I love it. I love to help you do another step. But the thing is, it's actually really lonely because you never meet other people. I'm in my house with my wife and my kids. I love them, but it's also really nice to just get out, talk to other content creators, and then we just talk about YouTube, we talk about the business, we talk about WordPress, we talk about all the things that were in our minds. And I just really had a blast. And I actually made some new friends over there, because Imran and Rina, we have never met before, but it was like this instant click, and it was just so fun with laughing with each other, having a blast, eating, dining, thinking about all things WordPress and all things YouTube. I just genuinely really enjoyed it. And I have to say that I got a new friend. So Reno, I just really love you, man. We had such a great time. We spent a lot of time thinking deep thoughts about everything. And yes, WordCamp is also a place where you can make new friends. And just imagine you're a developer and you're working somewhere, and then you go to WordCamp and you meet all kind of other developers from all across Europe, and they're bumping into the same troubles and problems as you, not only on your work, but also with WordPress, but also with developing. They see the problems with AI, they see the possibilities of AI, and don't underestimate it, because that is the power of a WordCamp: to meet each other, to have conversations with each other, to think about all the hard things, to think about family and combining it with your work and all these things are so amazing. So during the day, I meet a lot of people inside of WordCamp, so like my sponsors and all my appointments I have, but also when I have a little bit of time in between, I walk through all the booths. Now at the booths are basically new systems, new plugins, new themes, new developments, new guys, and I really want to talk to them and tell you, hey, show me your new developments, show me your new plugin, show me your new system. And that's more valuable than you think, because first of all, of course, you start out with a sales pitch, but that's no problem at all. Just sell me your product, and I'm convinced, I become enthusiastic. I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to ask, oh, why is that? And how does this work? Why did you do it this way? And when you're combining all these things together, you have like, wow, this is an actual really cool product. This is something I would use when I was, I could use this. I can see that there's a market for this. And that's just something you cannot do from behind your screen. Go to your AI and ask about this plugin. It's just when someone tells you, look you in the eye, and you can ask questions. Now that's where the real power happens. Sell me your plugin. Sell me your stuff. show me your hosting company. Why is it better? And you can also meet users of that system who just you bump into and you say, hey, have you heard about this? And they're like, man, I've been using it for 2 years. It's amazing. Those things are so valuable. Another real cool thing is eating together with people you've never met. So you just go into line, you get your food. I just walk to a table with my food to some random dude and I just put it down and hey, it's okay if I eat here. And everybody say, of course, yes, sure, join us, come. And then you have like the amazing talks with people you've never met and you probably wouldn't met if you start an appointment because you just bump into each other. And that is like so cool because I just start talking with people from Codable. I'm just talking to people from Nova Mira and I just met them and with Freemius, I just met them and we talk and we're like, hey, this is actually really cool. I've never heard of you guys, but now I know, and this is so awesome. You know, these things just happen on WordCamps. They just don't happen with me sitting behind my screen. No, WordCamp is actually the place to be where these things just genuinely happen spontaneously. Meeting people, enjoying each other's company. And of course, that also happens at the after parties. Another cool thing that you should really participate in next year in Malaga and Spain are the side events. So they have side events like picnics and walking around Krákow, and all these things are really cool, but I'm talking about the after parties. It began straight the first day we met with Marshall Boatsman from Kinsta and we met on a boat. How fun is that? But again, you just get some drinks, you just start talking, and the most fun part is just, again, you bump into random people. And of course, if you don't like the talk, you can just say, hey, it was great meeting you, and I'll see you later, and you just walk away to some other guys. It's just so easy. For me personally, a highlight was definitely meeting up with Ferdy, who I already know for years and years and years. We go way back. But I never knew Imran and Rino. I've never met them before. Christian was also there. Daryl was also there. I've never met him before. So talking to Imran, Rino, and Daryl was just so amazing because I've never met these guys. And it was so genuine fun. And why is this so cool? Because you have this image on someone you see on YouTube, right? You think like, oh, I kind of know how this guy talks, how he thinks, and what he does. And then you met them in real life and it's just so different because they're just so much fun. Or they're like so outspoken that they're normally not are. They're just so... we had such a blast with each other. So yeah, I want to say a special shout out to Reno. We've talked a lot, deep thoughts about everything in the world, about life in general. We've talked about faith, we talked about politics, we talked about the world, we talked about WordPress, AI, we talked about everything the most and really deep. I genuinely really enjoyed it. I could genuinely say I have a new friend now. And also Imran, we had a great time. I've never met you before and I wasn't disappointed. I mean, we had a blast, we had fun, we have good conversations, we have thoughts, thinking about stuff. And it was so great meeting you, man. So yeah, I really hope to see you next time in Malaga. Also with Daryl, I have never met you before and our meetings were just awesome. You know, I could really hang out with you and pick your brains about stuff on YouTube, on WordPress, on AI, get to know you a little bit, talk to you about life in general, about faith, about politics. We had so much fun. And of course, also meeting Ferdy was really great. But the thing is, we already know each other since we were like really 10, 20 years ago, I don't know, before we even started YouTube. So, you know, it's like, for us, it's just like being friends and normal. So that's why. But I still love you, man. Venue this year was amazing. It was really big. It was like a congress center and you had like this big auditorium where everybody went and we just sat there and hey, I'm here with Rob, also from the Netherlands, and we just kind of looking at each other's phones. I don't know why. And then next to me came Ferdy, also from Elementor here, Ferdy, and yes, we were also looking at his phone. I don't know why. I'm really not that guy who sits on phones all day, you know? It's just get on camera multiple times on photograph. But it was like this big venue and we had all kind of speakers and that's just fine. I'm glad the speakers were not this high level speakers with all these awesome, amazing talks, or else I wouldn't have all the meetings that I could have. And I also have a crazy thought about why don't we put up at some stage certain content creators, because hear me out, the content creators, we see what's happening in the market. We read the comments every day, we create videos and we see how popular they are, we see trends, we see across the entire line of WordPress or AI or whatever, we actually see what is hot right now and what is changing, because we see the sales running down on hosting companies or certain things or certain plugins or certain interests. They just maybe get less, you know? So it could be interesting for people to maybe hear what a content creator has to say and what he has seen in the last year, moving and changing around WordPress land. Just a random thought. Now, I'm looking back at the perfect WordCamp, but there's only one thing I really regret. Look at this shirt. I mean, it's really nice. You can see the back of my shirt. Here we go. Let me switch my cameras. Look at this. It's really awesome. The thing is, I just took one size too short. I took an S. And normally, all these shirts in the European Union, or you get from freebies and swag, they're just way oversized. So I thought, let's go with the smallest. But this time, the WordCamp guys, volunteers, did a really good job at sizing. So I just got this really tiny. You know how I feel like? I feel like these bouncers we had in the last after party from WordCamp Europe. They were like these guys were walking around like, they were like huge, you know, and it's just not even close to what I'm doing right now. But so that's the only thing I regret about this WordCamp. I should have taken a bigger shirt. I'm just gonna give it to my wife. Maybe she will wear it. I highly doubt it because, you know, it's like a nerd shirt, like my children say, and I don't think she want to run around with this on the back. So let me know in the comments if you are going to WordCamp Malaga, Spain next year, and if you went this year, and how did you like it? What do you felt about it? And I hope to see you next year. And if you aren't coming, tell me why you aren't coming, because I'm genuinely curious about it. I'm gonna switch my shirts because I just feel a little bit naked now, and I don't like that so much. So hey guys, see you later in the next video. Bye bye.